Hi, it's Jewl with the Daily Drop Society. Today we're going over what is diluting an essential oil, what does it mean, and why you should be doing it when you're using essential oils. Now, dilution simply means that you are using a carrier oil when you're using your potent, strong essential oil. Now, this in no way makes your essential oil less effective. We have this funny thing in our heads. We think of dilution like if I had a glass of lemonade and I added water to it, it's not as strong because I diluted it. With essential oils, we can't think of it this way. What it's actually doing is increasing the use and availability of that essential oil when we use it topically, which means when we use it on the skin. When we use a carrier oil, before we use an essential oil, it actually helps slow down the flash point of an essential oil. Remember that these essential oils are volatile aromatic compounds. That's why when you open the bottle, you can smell them right away because they're already evaporating into the air. By putting on a carrier oil before we put on an essential oil, it actually slows down that evaporation, and so your body is able to absorb more of it. It just helps your skin absorb the essential oil better and more effectively. It's also a great way to prep the skin before using an essential oil because it's going to be easier to spread on your skin topically using a carrier oil. It also helps with skin sensitivity. It's one of the biggest concerns when using an essential oil is you might get some skin irritation when you put it on the skin. By using a carrier oil, it helps not have that sensitive issue. It also later down the road helps with something called skin sensitization. What happens is that after using an essential oil for a long period of time, sometimes our skin can become sensitive to it. Even though there aren't proteins to cause that allergic reaction in an essential oil, those proteins are actually still in our skin. The research I've read talks about that over time, sometimes our skin can become sensitive. But if we are diluting and using a carrier oil, when we use our essential oils, it takes that down. It makes it so safe and effective to use on our skin. It's also really important that we dilute an essential oil when we're using hot essential oils. You're always going to want to dilute essential oils like cassia, cinnamon, clove, oregano, and thyme, as those oils are known to be more hot and sensitive to our skin and will cause a reaction. So a carrier oil is what they call a vegetable-based oil. These are things like sweet almond oil, jojoba oil, olive oil, grapeseed oil, and my favorite one to use, coconut oil. I use what they call a fractionated coconut oil. What this means is that it is a coconut oil that no longer has the fatty chains, so it always stays at a liquid form. The reason why I like to use this one more than any of the others, it doesn't leave a greasy residue when you're using it topically on the skin. It also has a longer shelf life, so it doesn't go rancid as fast, and I can use it longer in things like roller bottle recipes or just sitting on my shelf until I'm ready to use it. Here's just a little rule of thumb when you're using essential oil so you know how much to dilute it. In your hand, you can take your fractionated coconut oil or any other carrier oil you decide to use and put around 1 teaspoon in your hand. Now with our little ones that we're using essential oils on, you're only going to want to add 1 drop of essential oil to that teaspoon of carrier oil. This will give you a 1% dilution. Now with your kids, you can do a 2% dilution. That would be 2 drops of essential oil to 1 teaspoon of carrier oil. Now for adults who want to dilute their essential oil, you can do anywhere from a 3 to 5% dilution of that essential oil. You'll take 1 teaspoon of carrier oil with 3 to 5 drops of that essential oil in your hand to put on the skin. Now, I found in my experience the dilution of essential oil is really personal. It's going to depend on what your skin sensitivity is. It's going to depend on the texture, the coarseness, all that has to do with the skin. And it also depends on if I'm working with something like I'm just wanting to smell that essential oil or if I'm actually working with something on the skin that I'm trying to take care of. This is gonna make a difference in how much of an essential oil you're gonna wanna use. But remember the rule of thumb. Use less more often, and you will see incredible results with using these essential oils. You can always add more later, but you can't always take it away if you've used too much. Now, also just a rule of thumb, if you do find you've put on an essential oil and it does seem a little bit too strong for you, and you feel your skin getting red, maybe a little itchy, it's starting to irritate it, don't ever, ever, ever use water. Don't use it. What you'll want to do is grab, again, a carrier oil. You'll just layer that right on top of it, and you're gonna feel that feeling just dissipate as it dilutes that essential oil. So remember, never use water, always use a carrier oil. The last tip I have for you for using essential oils topically and diluting is that when you're using a citrus oil, be cautious because those oils can become photosensitive. So if you know you're going to be out in the sun and you're using a citrus oil topically, make sure you cover up. It's about 12 hours, your skin is going to be a little bit more sensitive to the sun. Cover up, wear sunscreen, use a carrier oil so you're not feeling that extra photosensitivity that may come from using an essential oil topically. That was a lot of information at you guys today. I hope you got some good information out of it. I hope you understand now why it's so important to dilute, how you can start diluting at home, and really how easy it is. Thanks for watching, you guys.